Okay, I want to go over functionality, use, adjustability of the iGRID indicator. Here I'm looking at CTrader. I'll show you the MT4 platform next. We have it for NT8 and MT5 this week ahead. Matter of fact, I was just testing out the final NT8 version today. About to rearrange the settings in a little bit more logical order and then green light it to give it out to the group. Hopefully can get that done for the NT8 group at some point Monday, and then MT5 right after that. So the key about the iGRID, what makes it special is I have what appears to be like a smooth Heikin-Ashi. So I've used the framework of a smooth Heikin-Ashi and we put three different types of math smoothing in the Heikin-Ashi. Then we have one of three different types of smoothing locked in to our momentum shift portion of the indicator. And the key is it's like two-dimensional smoothing. The Heikin-Ashi is looking at price and has the ability to adjust the smoothing. So that's one dimension. Heikin-Ashi looking at price, creating a plot that's smooth based on three different types of math, and the ability to adjust the responsiveness of that math. Then we have the momentum shift. So that's more of the micro look of price. This is more of the macro look of price, but they're both together in one indicator. And the key is I have special math in the second part of the indicator that looks for the momentum shifts. So let me circle those areas where we're getting a momentum shift from downside momentum to upside momentum, and so on. We have this portion of the indicator with unique math in it reading the Heikin-Ashi. So that adds another layer of smoothing that is different than a typical two-component indicator where Heikin-Ashi is reading price and then some sort of old school super trend or Chandler exit or some other type of item, maybe just any of the other indicators that act like a higher picture look of analyzing price and not getting whipsawed back and forth by the micro movements of price until you have a more major move that then flips the indicator to change from upside momentum to downside momentum, from downside momentum to upside momentum, and so on. So the key that makes the iGRID so good is the type of math we put in the primary portion of the indicator. That is the overwatch, looking for the real actual shifts in momentum while ignoring most of the noise. And the Heikin-Ashi reads the noise and gives an interpretation of that on a more micro level. And that's important because we want to find workable entry points in running trends that are in alignment with the more macro portion of the indicator. So somebody that wants to do quick scalping, they don't have to work the actual shift points. They can wait and try to find pickups in a developing and running trend. They're taking trades in alignment with benchmark momentum. Same thing to the downside. Price comes up into the core part of the indicator, touches it or goes beyond it, rolls over. That is a good quick scalping entry point. Come up and touch the core part of the indicator, trade through to beyond it. We get a rollover. Those are high probability areas. And if the Heikin-Ashi flips on you after you're in, you just get out. So you take your shots, but the predominance of them, especially when using smart money management, are going to pay you very well. So this is all part of the iGRID. Now let's get into the adjustability of the iGRID indicator. So in the indicator, we do have lots of adjustability. We can adjust for three types of smoothing. Those are kind of, I guess you could say, the framework of the smoothing, but then we put in our math. That's just for the Heikin-Ashi portion. You can adjust the period. You can set the thickness of the candlesticks, the wicks. You can change the colors. And on the shift portion of the mechanism, where I take a basic step moving average framework and then put R math into it, but use the adjustability, the two primary axes of adjustability is the length and the sensitivity factor, and then I can dial this in and make it much more responsive to what price is doing or less. So let's go take a look at that. So let's knock the Heikin Ashi down to about a 7 period, and let's take this down to about an 11 and something like a 0.7, and I can make the indicator hyper responsive to price. And then I can look at that and say, okay, that's way too responsive. I want to desensitize it or make it not quite as reactive to price. So then I can back away from that, incrementally. And the nice thing with CTrader, it auto adjusts on the fly as I'm working with it. So I can keep analyzing, as I'm backing off, seeing what areas would I want to stay in the, running trend, and what areas would I want, what type of price action, what kind of indicator interaction with price do I want to see before I want to see a flip. Like this, to me, I don't want to be flipping back and forth. So let me back that off a bit until I get to a point where I no longer have, let's go to like a 2.2, and there we go. So everything can be fine-tuned. I can fine-tune as needed. I can make it hyper responsive to price, or I can make it less responsive to price. So it has lots of adjustability. And then another use is to look at the same time frame, or maybe one slightly higher, and have your scalp chart, your entry chart, be very responsive to price, but have a slightly higher time frame backed off a bit, like the look of things when I first started the video. So you have a bigger picture and you're just seeing the bigger structural moves. But then you can go find the pickup points where your very responsive scalping chart is perfectly in alignment with your higher time frame chart. So when your higher time frame chart says be long bias, you can pick up long entry points. When it says to be short, you can work short side entry points, so on. So everything has a lot of adjustability. Okay, let's go back in here. Let's go to like an 11. Let's go up to a 25. Let's go up to like a 6. And very adjustable. Lots of adjustability to the indicator. Okay, this is on CTrader. Let's go take a look on something like the MT4, MT5 platform. So on something like, in this case, MT4, I can run the iGRID on higher time frames, something like the S&P 500, or gold, or oil, or maybe some crypto, or currency pairs, and I can look for the bigger shifts and do swing trading. Or when I'm in a long mode, go on my lower time frame chart, maybe it's a 1-minute chart, 2-minute chart, 5-minute chart, 15-minute chart, and look for trades that are in alignment with my higher time frame look of things. But as a swing trading tool, I have never found anything that I can make this dialed in. As a matter of fact, this is going to end up probably being one of the most premier market timing indicators that I've ever built. I already have lots of plans for this to be turned into a market timing tool on SPY, QQQ, people swing trading Tesla, Microsoft, NVIDIA, trading stocks, trading options. So I'm already in major developments for Thinkorswim, Interactive Brokers, TradeStation, and other platforms. I've let a few people that I know do that play with the indicator now to confirm what my feelings were, to not tell them anything, just say, here it is, here's how you adjust it, and you tell me if this is helping you pick your entry points for that 1 to 4 day trades you put on. I've had nothing but exceptionally positive, and if you just said this is really easy, I've never had it this easy. So the iGRID, the development of the iGRID, and all the shit that I've had to go through the last year building this, different variations, math, trying this, trying that, trying to get to this, well, we hit pay dirt. And those of you that are going to get to use it and you see what I do to it, even in the next month, or I'm adding more math options in here for you to have, and so on. It's mind-boggling how good this indicator is going to be. And then matching it up with driving an EA, an MT4 and MT5, whoo! Or the C-bot we're going to run on the iGRID indicator in C-Trader, we're going to be at a different level. We're going to leave everything else in the dust. The iGRID is it. So if you have any questions on it at any time, how does it work? How do I get it? What platform? I want to do this with it. I want to do that with it. Info@gridalgo.com. I'm going to run this sucker fully automated in NT8. I already have that stuff in works. NT8 to me is a pain in the ass to build high quality automation for, because you can have a lot of order exceptions. So it's all about making sure you use a really good programmer that knows what they're doing. Well, we've got that going. I'm going to build very targeted, fully automated trading on the NT8 platform, all off the iGRID. And I also have my squeeze momentum tool that's going to be part of a filtering mechanism. So let's get into the adjustability of the indicator. I've actually been losing sleep for over a week now because I'm getting giddy when I keep testing this more and more at how powerful it is. So now let's go down to something like a 1-minute chart. So remember I was talking about how messy price can get? Look at this mess. I mean, like the NQ lately and all the institutional games that we've had, the IBs playing with Fed discount window money in the markets, which has been just off the hook the last several days. I mean, price is scratchy and messy and sloppy. It's kind of like life. People always think, oh, I'm going to start something right here and, and then, I'm going to work on it and everything's going to be so great and cool and nothing's going to be hard. And I'm going to go up here and, that'll, be nice and smooth and no stress and so easy. That's called plan A. That's your plan A. That's what you have in your mind of how things are going to work. Okay, that's La La Land. That's like Mike Tyson says, plan A goes out the window when you get smashed in the face. He's right. Life is always about freaking plan B. You better live on plan B is where you make or break your life. Plan A, maybe 1 in 100 times your plan A is going to work. So the 99 other times, you sure in hell better know how to live life on plan B. And you better stop crying about it, bitching about it, and complaining. Hunker down, focus, take some tools, adapt them to what meets your psychology, listen to the training, follow it, and go after it. These are exceptional tools. And the iGRID is taking everything to a whole other level. So coming into the U.S. session, or into where the predominance of participants are trading, shift to the downside, shift to the upside. Big slap down move after a run up to a level sweep. Shift to the downside. Back shift to the upside. Then a shift to the downside later part of the day. So even on a 1-minute chart, which is sloppy and messy as hell, especially on a time-based chart, an MT5, the iGRID, you can adjust it. And some people will say, well, gosh, it's got so many adjustments. How will we ever figure out which one's best? It's really simple. I'm building a tool that's just going to do an entry. So basically, it's an all-in. When it shifts to the downside, you're in one position. Shifts the upside, you're in one. Shifts downside. That EA, just a real simple EA, we can then go in and optimize the iGRID per instrument and time frame rapidly, then go over with the iGRID the full tilt EA that will run dynamic directional grid trading, and we will already know what settings we need to have on the primary indicator.